Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to this very special 90s nostalgia trip where we're going to be spending the next several videos taking a look at some of the most weird and bizarre and obscure horror movie box art. Now, what inspired me to make this video was the fond memories that I have, and I think most of us have, of wandering the vast aisles of your local video store, perusing through the horror section, only to come across box cover after box cover with images that would just send shivers down your spine, and artwork that would cause your imagination to run wild with possibilities as to what these films could look like or be. Now, I remember coming across tons of different horror movies at my local Blockbuster video as a kid, and even though 99% of those films my parents would never let me rent in a million years, that would definitely not stop me from being fascinated by some of the terrifying images that something as simple as a DVD or VHS box art cover could bring to an impressionable youth. Now, the box art I wanted to point to today, first and foremost, might be the cover that impacted me the most as a little kid. It's a film called Death Factory. And while it may sound like some sort of sweet and poetic romantic comedy, the box cover is just fucking horrifying. Now, I never knew anything at all about this movie, and I honestly still don't know much about it at all, but I do know that the only reason I even remember it is because of this image on the cover. Seeing this freaky, demoness Freddy Krueger death witch triggered a lot of nightmares for me back in the day, and it's pretty remarkable that just a box cover alone can cause someone to remember your movie for multiple decades, especially considering they've never even actually seen the film. Now, while I still have never seen Death Factory, I have looked into the plot in preparation for this video, and of course, the reviews here make it sound like this film is a big steaming pile of direct-to-video shit, which, to be honest, is kind of how most artwork goes. Usually the better or more impressive the cover artwork is to a movie, the less likely the movie itself is anything special. And Death Factory is no exception, as it is simply a super low-budget, direct-to-video crapfest. The plot revolves around a group of college kids who decide to spend the night partying inside of an abandoned chemical factory, because obviously that's what college kids dream about as the ultimate party spot. Naturally, the place is haunted by some weird demon zombie creature, which is a variation of the creature on the box art. Now, while I would never in a million years recommend that you actually track this movie down and actually watch, I would certainly have to say that this film gets an A for effort on promotion. If only the film itself was as memorable as the box art. The film is also, by the way, from 2002, which is kind of like a weird period for horror films in general. It's kind of that period where everything was very, really shitty, low-budget CG. And I know everything was like that in the late 90s also, but the early 2000s was when it was really getting out of hand with the just terrible effects in horror films, especially super low-budget direct-to-video movies. And I don't know if this movie has terrible CG, because again, I haven't watched it and have no intention to watch it, nor would I ever recommend you watch it. I can't emphasize that enough. No offense to the people who made it, I'm sure they had a wonderful time making Death Factory. But nevertheless, I do have to give credit where it's due. A cover art is very important in my opinion. I think honestly that not enough filmmakers and Hollywood studios put enough effort into cover art these days. I can't tell you how many times I've been inside of a store that sells DVDs or Blu-rays nowadays, and I just cringe at how bad the cover art is on most modern movies. There's no effort anymore. No one actually makes an attempt to create an interesting piece of art. A good example that I always jump to is The Conjuring. Now, the DVD cover of The Conjuring is amazing. It's basically the film poster, which is a picture of the house with the tree in the foreground. It looks awesome. It's the kind of thing I would hang on my wall gladly. But then you look at the Blu-ray cover, just a completely random shot from the movie of the woman in the dark with the lighter on right before the hand comes out and plays patty cake or whatever the fuck it is. It just really seems like they have this random cover generator. They just press a button and it just cycles through all the frames in the movie, and it just picks one random still frame and says, yep, that's good, let's ship that out. The point of this as a series is I want to highlight some of the box cover art that really stuck with me when I was perusing through the video stores as a little kid, and I'd love to hear some of the movies that you remember that stuck out to you when you were a little kid traveling through the video store? Are there any movies that you can think of that you maybe didn't ever see, but definitely remember being freaked out by the cover art alone? Drop them down in the comments below, and definitely be sure to like this video because it really helps the channel and really shows a lot of support, and I'd really appreciate that. And for anything else related to 80s and 90s nostalgia, I would highly recommend you subscribe to this channel. Please feel free to follow me on Instagram at the90stalgia. Feel free to follow me on TikTok at 90stalgia, as well as on Twitter at 90stalgia, you guessed it. Hopefully you guys got some enjoyment out of this trip down memory lane, this 90stalgia trip, and for many more 90stalgia trips just like it, please, again, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.